Last month, things got seriously uncomfortable for Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo at the BAFTA event in London. During what was supposed to be a major moment, a man in the crowd shouted a racial slur at them, and it was all caught on camera. The wild part: the BAFTAs weren't even live, they were pre-recorded, yet that moment still made it into the global broadcast. Michael and Delroy were left standing there, forced to take it in real time, no escape, no edits to protect them. Now jump ahead just 4 weeks and the vibe flips completely. Same actor, same film, but now he's at the Oscars, standing tall with a Best Actor win and soaking in a full standing ovation. That kind of switch up feels way too sharp for some people to ignore. Coincidence? Not everyone is buying that. Katt Williams is calling it out, saying the industry power players decide when to tear someone down and when to lift them up.
Hollywood is not really there to entertain you. Like, that's great that that happens, but propaganda is something that is important to all civilizations.
According to him, if something feels staged or calculated, there's probably more going on behind the curtain, and it doesn't stop there. Online chatter is getting even deeper, with some claiming the Oscars themselves carry hidden meanings. People are pointing at the statue, saying it resembles Sokar, an ancient Egyptian figure tied to the afterlife.
You don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about just following the ritual work.
Then there's the wordplay, Oscar and Sokar, which has people raising eyebrows and asking questions. Now let's get into Michael B. Jordan and why some people believe that Oscar win came with a price, like being publicly embarrassed first. The timing has people talking, and not in a quiet way. Just a few weeks before the Oscars, during the BAFTA event, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage when someone in the audience yelled out a racial slur at them on camera.
I understand what it's worth doing when the industry is canceling one black guy. I know what happens when they are going to elevate another. And I know what happens when they don't care about either of them. I'm saying that everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend, that seems like a setup, is.
The story quickly shifted, with media reports saying the person had Tourette's, and that became the main focus everywhere. Because of that angle, Michael and Delroy couldn't really respond or push back without it turning into something else. But here's where things start looking strange to a lot of viewers. The broadcast wasn't even live. It had a delay of nearly 2 hours, and somehow that moment still made it into the final version shown to the world. On top of that, people noticed a microphone was aimed right at the person in the crowd, even though he was sitting dozens of rows back.
These circumstances are not, we see them as, oh, this is live. He said something about his wife and then he got mad and jeopardized his career. And then the other guy had to decide what he was going to do with his career. And then no, we have to understand that these are two giants in our field if you're a black person.
Out of all moments, it happened right when two black actors were standing on stage together. Sure, apologies came out fast. The BBC called it a serious mistake. BAFTA said sorry, and the headlines moved on just like that. But Michael B. Jordan, he had to stand there in that moment and deal with it. No pause button, no redo, just take it as it happened. All of this played out on camera, right in front of the entire world, and what really caught people's attention was the silence that followed.
This is two guys too big and too good to be involved in what they're in. These are when two large boulders come together and you can't see Chris Rock winning at all. He's humiliated. If you were gonna slap a comedian, he was the number one to slap, head of the coons, so slappable. And if you're gonna slap him, you just need the greatest guy, the bestest guy, the one who's shown us him being on his best behavior since the 90s.
Michael B. Jordan didn't publicly comment on the situation at all. Meanwhile, Delroy Lindo did speak up and called out the BAFTAs, saying he wished someone had at least reached out to them after everything that happened. That contrast stood out in a big way. Then just 4 weeks later, boom, Michael lands his first Oscar, his first nomination for the exact same film. That's where people start connecting dots, especially with what Katt Williams has been saying.
And the Oscar goes to Michael B. Jordan.
This is the first Oscar win and nomination for Michael B. Jordan.
He pointed to a similar moment involving Will Smith and Chris Rock at the Oscars. That night turned chaotic fast when Will slapped Chris on stage, and the whole world locked in on that moment. Both men faced backlash and embarrassment in completely different ways, and the situation took over the entire conversation. But here's what many people forget. Less than an hour later, Will Smith was back on that same stage, holding his first Oscar and giving a speech. The shocking moment didn't stop the win. It actually happened right alongside it. The humiliation and the celebration unfolded in the same broadcast, back to back, like two sides of the same coin. According to Katt, that kind of pattern isn't random. He believes these moments rely on major stars to really land, and when something feels carefully timed or staged, there might be more happening behind the scenes. In his view, the industry has the power to shape when someone gets torn down and when they get lifted up. Now look at how things played out after that Oscars moment. Will Smith ended up banned from the ceremony for 10 years, and his career definitely felt the impact. His film Emancipation didn't perform the way people expected, and since then, things haven't really hit the same level for him. Meanwhile, Chris Rock saw a whole different outcome. His profile shot up, he landed a major Netflix special, and started selling out arenas again. That contrast is exactly what Katt Williams keeps pointing at. One person takes the hit, and another ends up benefiting from the same situation. Back in 2022, Will faced the fallout while Chris turned that moment into momentum after the public embarrassment. Now fast forward to more recent conversations and people are drawing similar comparisons again. Some believe Michael B. Jordan had to go through that uncomfortable moment at the BAFTAs only to be celebrated weeks later with an Oscar win. To them, it feels like the same storyline playing out again, just with different names in the spotlight. But Katt's argument goes even deeper than that. He's saying this pattern didn't just start recently, it goes way back. Take Hattie McDaniel in 1940, the first black actor to win an Oscar for Gone with the Wind. Even in that historic moment, things weren't equal. She played a maid role that leaned into stereotypes, which made many people uncomfortable. And on the night of her big win, she wasn't even allowed to sit with the other guests at the main table. That moment says a lot, and it's why some people feel these conversations keep coming back around. They placed her at a segregated table, pushed to the back of the room, separated from everyone else on a night that was supposed to celebrate her.
Man, God is good. God is good. And yeah, mama, what's up? Y'all know how I feel about my mother and my father's here. Your pops, where you at? My dad came in from Ghana. He flew in from Ghana to be here. My brother, my sister's here.
That moment still sticks with people because of what it represented. Then jump to 2002, and you've got Halle Berry making history as the first and still the only black woman to win Best Lead Actress at the Oscars. That alone should say a lot, but people also look closely at the role she won for in Monsters Ball. She played a woman caught in a painful situation involving a man connected to the execution of her husband. Yes, it was a major achievement, no doubt, but the details of the role still get people talking. Then there's Monique in 2010, who delivered a powerful performance in Precious and won an Oscar for it. She played a deeply troubled mother, a role that was intense and hard to watch. But after her win, things didn't go the way you'd expect. When she didn't fully go along with certain expectations around promotion, her career reportedly took a hit. She won the award, but still ended up on the outside looking in. Now move ahead to Lupita Nyong'o in 2014, winning Best Supporting Actress for 12 Years a Slave. Another huge moment. But she later shared that many of the roles she was offered afterward were similar, tied to the same kind of historical setting. That raised questions about the kind of opportunities that followed such a big win. And then there's an even heavier side to what some people are calling this pattern. Think about Jennifer Hudson's Oscar win for Dreamgirls back in 2007. The timing had people talking for years. Just months before she stepped on that stage and accepted her award, her mother, brother, and nephew were tragically killed. That moment was both powerful and heartbreaking at the same time, and it added a whole different layer to her win.
I want to thank Warner Brothers. I want to thank Mike and Pam for believing in this dream, this vision of Ryan Coogler, and betting on a culture and betting on original ideas and original artistry. And you're an amazing, amazing person. I'm so honored to call you a collaborator and a friend, and you gave me the opportunity and space for me to be seen. And I love you too, bro. Love you to death.
Then the conversation shifts to something else that keeps coming up. Who gets recognized in the biggest categories and who doesn't? Even now, people point out how rare it has been for Black creators to win in major categories like Best Director or Best Lead Actress. Halle Berry is still the only Black woman to ever win Best Lead Actress, and that was back in 2002. For Best Lead Actor, the number of winners over nearly a century is still surprisingly small. That reality has led to a bigger conversation. Some feel like the message coming from the industry is clear. You can be part of the story. You can even shine on screen, but having full control or consistent recognition at the highest level is still limited. So when people see Michael B. Jordan holding that Oscar, it's definitely a huge moment. But voices like Katt Williams raise a tougher question that sticks with people. If everything comes at a cost, what did he have to go through before that spotlight hit? Because the uncomfortable moment happened first and the celebration came after. And that's where the conversation really starts to heat up. Because once people notice a pattern, they don't just ignore it, they start asking louder questions. Why do these big emotional moments keep showing up right before or alongside major wins? Why does it feel like there's always some kind of tension, some kind of controversy tied to the spotlight?
I would like to thank my incredible cast. Wumi, thank you so much for giving Smoke opportunity to be him. Haley at home, she's getting ready to have a baby right now. Thank you so much for being the other half of Stack. Miles, Delroy, Jamie, everybody, Lily, Omar, the entire cast. I thank you guys for supporting me through this. My team, Phil Sun, Greg Sluitt, Lindsey Gallen.
Some observers are saying it's not always about what's happening on the surface. It's about what's happening behind closed doors. The deals, the pressure, the expectations that never make it into headlines. And when everything looks perfectly timed, perfectly placed, it makes people wonder if it's all just coincidence or something way more calculated. At the same time, others push back on that idea completely. They argue that success comes from talent, hard work, and the right opportunities lining up at the right moment. Not everything has to be part of a bigger plan, and not every moment is connected. But still, the questions don't go away. Because when you line up all these moments side by side, it creates a story that's hard for some people to ignore. And whether you believe it's all connected or not, one thing is clear. People are paying closer attention than ever before, and they're not just watching, they're analyzing everything. And now the spotlight isn't just on the actors anymore, it's on the entire system behind them. People are starting to look past the red carpets, the speeches, and the trophies, and really question how these moments are built in the first place. Who decides what gets shown? Who controls the narrative? And why do certain stories keep repeating in slightly different ways? Social media has made it even louder.
I stand here because of the people that came before me. Sidney Poitier, Denzel Washington, Halle Berry, Jamie Foxx, Forrest Whitaker, Will Smith, And to be amongst those giants, amongst those greats, amongst my ancestors, amongst my guys. Thank you, everybody in this room and everybody at home for supporting me over my career. I feel it. I know you guys want me to do well, and I want to do that because you guys bet on me. So thank you for keeping.
Every clip gets replayed, slowed down, picked apart frame by frame. Nothing slips by unnoticed anymore. If something feels off, people catch it fast and start connecting dots immediately. That's why moments like these don't just fade away, they grow bigger over time. At the same time, there's a real conversation happening about progress versus perception. Yes, there have been major milestones, big wins, and unforgettable breakthroughs. But for a lot of people watching, it still feels like those wins come with layers attached, like there's always something extra going on beneath the surface. So now every big award, every emotional speech, every unexpected moment gets looked at differently. Not just as entertainment, but as something deeper. Because whether people agree or not, the idea that there's more going on behind the scenes isn't going away anytime soon. The reward shows up in Hollywood just weeks later. Same movie, same man, totally different energy. And to some people watching closely, it feels like the machine just keeps moving exactly how it always has. No pauses, no questions.
For keep betting on me. And I'm gonna keep stepping up. And I'm gonna keep being the best version of myself I could be. So I just wanna say thank you for everybody in this room that had something to do with my success. I love you guys. And everybody at home who supported Sinners, who went to go see the movie once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, thank you. Because you guys made this movie what it is. I love you, I love you, I love you.
Now here's where it gets real interesting. Some people hear all of this and immediately brush it off, saying it sounds like a stretch, like people are connecting dots that don't really mean anything. And sure, that could be true. Not everything has a hidden meaning behind it. But then you line up the moments. From Hattie McDaniel being separated on the biggest night of her career to Michael B. Jordan facing that public incident just weeks before holding that gold statue. When you see it stacked like that, it makes people stop and think twice. Because at some point, it starts to feel like more than just random timing. Like Katt said, if something feels planned out, people are going to question it every single time, and those questions aren't going anywhere. Now, I want to hear what you think. Do you believe there's something deeper going on here, or is this just how things play out sometimes? And if there really is something behind it all, who do you think is calling the shots? Make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it.